All right, I'm Judson Powell, and this is the fastest 15 minutes on the internet and on social media. I talk about politics, religion, and also spirituality. Anyway, so I want to keep on talking about this, the disparity in the political system and the disparity in a lot of things that are going on. And you don't have to be a genius to figure this stuff out. Let me explain something to you. First of all, everybody that seems that they are of European descent is not going to jail, and everybody that is of African descent is going to jail. So there is definitely a underlying agenda to all of this, and we can go directly, and we can start directly with the president and the fact that once again, I have to reiterate what I said yesterday. The fact is that 137 Democrats voted not to impeach Trump. Okay, so they never even got the resolution tabled. So what exactly is going on? What constitutes a crime? Okay, and then let's go even further back. And once again, let's bring up President Clinton. When President Clinton was impeached, okay, I mean, everybody, first of all, they spent $35 million to investigate him, and the only thing that they actually came up with was his affair with Monica Lewinsky, which was consensual. The current president, Donald Trump, has, at least that I am aware of, 16 allegations against him, including pedophile and rape and sexual assault charges that have never been couched, have never been put in front of anybody. All right. So what does that mean? That means that, okay, some people can get away with it and some people can't, and we're not following the rule of law. Okay, now let's go even further. The collusion, all of this stuff going on with Russia and all of that. So after all this investigation, what they're saying is nothing happened. Right? Nothing happened. Or let's talk about how he did the squad. All right, the 4 black Congress ladies. How did he do those? How did he do them wrong? Because he is a sitting president, and he talked, which is treasonous, and which has been determined to be what? Hate speech. It's hate speech. You cannot say or tell somebody to go back to their country. And not to mention, these are American citizens. All right. Then let's not mention all of the things. I mean, he was censured for that, and it's an impeachable offense. He violated the law. All right. You cannot say hate speech. You can't do it. There's laws against it. And so it violates what? It violates the rule of law. So everybody that's sitting around, I don't understand what else does this man have to do. All of the things that he's done as far as inciting hate crimes. I mean, the instances of hate crimes are way up. All of that. We are the laughing stock of the world. People all over the world dislike this man. They really do. People all over the world actually dislike this man. But yet and still, he is out there as our president, and he represents us as a country. So people think that everybody in the United States of America is crazy. Everybody in the United States of America is a racist. Everybody in the United States of America is a homophobe. Everybody in the United States of America, is into some negative stuff. And that's what's actually being talked about. That's what's actually being said. Okay? So we understand, we know, and we understand that that's what's going on. Okay, so now let's look at the other things. Let's look at all the other stuff that's going on. You have all of these people that are being brought up for various crimes and all of that, but yet and still, the only people that end up going to jail are black people. And there have been so many heinous instances of crime. Just like this Epstein guy, I guess they rearrested him because so many people were finally outraged. But this man is a pedophile. He's running a pedophile ring, allegedly. All right. So he's running a pedophile ring, but yet and still they let him walk out of jail. But then they bring R. Kelly up on federal charges. on federal charges. Y'all, we got to start talking about this stuff, and we got to keep it out there. We can't get, and what they try to do is they try to push another event into the news cycle in order to circumvent the stuff that's really going on. All of these, and the Harvey Weinstein, all of these these rich, wealthy white men are not going to jail. They're not going to jail. They're getting off. They're getting house arrest. They're getting, pay a fine and we'll let you go and all of this kind of stuff. That's ridiculous. The law, we are not in this country, we are not following the rule of law, which we should be doing. We need to be following the rule of law, because what it does is it creates a situation of anarchy and also lawlessness. I mean, just straight anarchy and lawlessness. That's what we got, which basically means the same thing. But what I'm trying to say is that you can't do that. The same thing where we have the police, gunning down black men and women in the streets of the United States of America all the time. And we have, and I'm not saying, and yes, there are black people, there are people that are guilty, and there are black people, certainly there are people that deserve to go to jail. Just like I feel like R. Kelly deserves to go to jail for what he did. I always felt that way. I felt that way from the first video that I ever saw of him, urinating on that girl. He should have went to jail then, but he knew, he had money, he knew people, he was in a higher place, and he was able to beat the charges. But, and I, I'm sorry, but I just can't let that go. The same thing with Charlemagne the God. I see certain other commentators on here, talking about how they like him and this, that, and the other thing. But guess what? He raped, he was involved in the rape and the drugging of 2 young black women, allegedly, we'll say allegedly, but he was involved, and he got away with it. So why is he walking around free, and he has a good, a good position, and he's out there in front of the public all the time? Should not be. So I'm not saying that if you are of African descent and you do something wrong, that you should get away with it. What I'm trying to say is that no matter what descent you are, if you commit a crime, you should not get away with it. Especially when it comes down to harming women and children. Or doing bodily harm to somebody, just like we got all this stuff. You should not get away free if you murder somebody, if you rape somebody, and all these different things. But it seems to me like if you're white and you got enough money and you got enough privilege, then you can get away with this kind of stuff. So, and once again, I have to bring up Bill Cosby. It's like the same thing. Why is Bill Cosby in jail? But, some of the people that were involved in some of the stuff that was in the Trump administration, the judge said, well, he's too old to go to jail. Don't y'all think that Bill Cosby, who's old and his sight is gone and everything, don't you think that he's a little too old to be in jail as well? I mean, put him on house arrest. He ain't going nowhere. And he, and at this point, he is not a threat to society. If it's just for punitive, if it's just for punishment, that's a different story, to make him pay some money. But at this point in his life, not to mention, you wait 20, 30, 40 years to bring up some allegations. That's absolutely and utterly ridiculous. It really is. So that's why at this point, I don't believe that it's really necessary for him to be in jail. But hey, so be it. If that's what y'all, but make it an even playing field. Make the playing field even. And that's all we're trying to say. The same thing, even with this whole reparations thing. The reparations thing is about power, money, and control. It ain't got nothing to do, they know they owe us money. We set up this whole country. We built this whole country. I'm talking about actually built it. The buildings, the farms, the everything. We taught them how to farm. They wasn't out there planting crops and picking crops and all that. Who was doing that? And then you look at all the different things. Look at all the inventions of the 18th, 19th, and 20th century. All the inventions of the 18th, 19th, and 20th century is what's making them rich right now, right? The internet, cell phones, the electric circuits, traffic lights, refrigeration, air conditioning, heaters. All of those things were invented. The light bulb, all of those things, were invented by who? By African descendants, Africans and descendants of Africans. Even the light bulb, the design for the light bulb was where it was discovered in the pyramids in Kemet. So they didn't invent nothing. They didn't even invent, now with the whole Jack Daniels thing, they didn't even invent alcohol. So all we're trying to say is, look, y'all made millions and billions of dollars for years and years and years and years off of the sweat of our backs, but now you don't feel that it's necessary for you to give us reparations. We deserve, and even if it's land, and I said this, and we don't, I don't believe that we need to break the country, but give people land. There's land, there's millions of acres of unused land in the United States of America. Come out here. I'm out west. Come out west. There's still tons of land. There's still tons of stuff that people would love to have. I would, give me 40 acres and a mule. I'll take it. Or give, like I said, 40 acres and a Ford. Give me 40 acres and a Ford. I'll take it. 40 acres and a Ford. 40 acres and a Ford. That's my hashtag. 40 acres and a Ford. Do it. The one thing that I try to tell everybody is like, look, we don't know how much it's going to take, but you shouldn't care because we built the country. And then as far as this stuff about go back to where you came from, okay, well, give us our money. If you give me the money, I'll leave and go back to Africa. I don't care. And when Marcus Garvey tried to do it, we tried. We done tried to go back to Africa. We done tried to build our own stuff. Every time we try to do something, y'all always standing there with a monkey wrench trying to stop it. We ain't so endeared to y'all that we can't leave or that we don't want to leave. But the bottom line is that, we are people, and we are men and women, and we deserve respect, and we deserve to be paid for what we did. And all these people talk about, well, we weren't back there, white people want to say that, but you still operate off of the privilege of white supremacy. The privileges that you have been granted through white supremacy is what allows you to live the lifestyle that you live, and what prohibits us from being able to live the same lifestyle. So don't sit up there, and then all the laws and the systemic racism and everything, planting drugs in our communities, breaking up our families. You've been breaking up our families since you brought us here. That's your whole thing was to break up the Trinity, and then break up the Trinity. The Trinity, the Holy Trinity, is nothing but the family. And y'all took that Trinity and y'all destroyed it through y'all systematic things. The welfare system, the food stamp system, the child support system. All of those systems are designed to break up families. Abortions, all of these different things that y'all came up with, that y'all integrated into your society, are nothing but things to murder us and kill us, and to keep us from keeping our families together. Because whenever we had the opportunity to keep our families together, black exploitation movies, rap music, all of these things designed to break up the family. And I know people say, oh, it's only music. But no, even all of your pagan holidays, everything is designed, what? To break up the Trinity, the original Trinity. Not, there was no Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Y'all made that up. There was Mother, Father, and children. That's the Trinity. All right. So stop trying to fake the funk with all this other stuff like it's supposed to be real, because it's not. It's all made up, and it's all being consumed by those that are on the lower end of the totem pole. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Fastest 15 minutes in social media and on the internet. My name is Judson Powell. Hit like, hit subscribe, and and we'll see you next time. I love all of y'all. I love you. I love y'all. Bye-bye.